Test on one day. India, England, Australia. What a player! What a player! What a player!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Concussion Sub series. We have back with us the Cricket Post very own Gaurav Sundaraman. Hello, Gaurav.
Hi Akash, how are you? How are you guys doing?
And we also have with us Vishak, fellow Water Player member. World Test Championship final, India versus New Zealand, Iron Man versus your Captain America.
It's going to be very interesting, Akash. One of the reasons I say that is because India somehow have not beaten New Zealand in a ICC tournament since 2003, if I remember right. 2003 World Cup was when the last time India beat New Zealand. And New Zealand are a good team, test team, especially in these conditions. If there's going to be some swing and all, they have players for all conditions. India also not far behind. Just that New Zealand would have played 2 test matches against England before they come into the World Test Championship. That makes a big difference because you have players in test mode, players who are in form, players understand the conditions. It's going to be an exciting match, something new, could be an ICC tournament victory for India after a long time. That too, it's in a test format. The first ever time India won the first ever T20 World Cup as well. So who knows? It's very hard to predict, and we don't know what kind of pitches Southampton is going to give. Usually, it's not that green where teams get bowled out very early and stuff, and that's how New Zealand generally thrives. So I'm very curious to see how both teams play. But New Zealand may start off as favourite purely because of getting used to those conditions. But after what India did in Australia, trust me, it's very, very hard to go against this Indian team or predict something against this Indian team. They literally have some really players playing at their peak now. If you ask me for the prediction, I think they may beat England in England. They may not be able to beat New Zealand in the World Test Championship final. That's what I think will happen at this point. After the Australia series, their predictions really don't mean much.
I mean, if you look at the complete team out there, it's got a mixture of the old experienced players as well as the ones which performed well in Australia. Who would you pick in your 11? Would you go back to the senior pros, or would you stick to the guns which performed well in Australia?
I think I'll go back to the senior pro. I think the 11 is kind of, if there's no injuries, I just feel that 11 is kind of set because you have your Rohit and Gill have to open because that's how they should be given the first chance for how well they did in Australia. Then you have Kohli, Pujara, Rahane and Pant. I don't see anybody else fighting for the place there, so that makes it 6 slots. Then you have Jadeja, who's your all-rounder, 7. He will definitely play. And you have Bumrah, Shami and Ishant for your 9, 10 and 11. So you have only one spot which is potentially based on pitch and condition. If there's no injury, that is, I don't see anybody else coming in. If they feel that it could turn a bit and they need some control, and if England and both New Zealand and England play more left-handers, then Ashwin comes in directly there. If the conditions are very, very favourable for pace bowling and it's very green and they want to play one more pace bowler who can bat, then I think Shardul will take up position because he can bat as well. Apart from that, one number 8 slot, which I think Ashwin will start for sure. Yeah, that's the only slot without any injuries where there is some kind of contention. Otherwise, as backups, you have Vihari for a middle order, you have Siraj for fast bowling, you have Umesh for fast bowling. So I don't think there's any major worries from a Indian team.
I think Siraj was done pretty well in Australia and he's been a completely different bowler. Do you think if it's a pacer-friendly conditions, he will play ahead of Shardul Thakur? Because Siraj can swing the ball as well.
So you're saying at number 8, we'll have Siraj. You have 4 quicks. So problem with 4 quicks, Vishak, sometimes the 4th bowler hardly bowls. So you have Ishant, Bumrah, Shami and Siraj. The chances of the 4th bowler bowling a lot of overs in England and all usually is a lot lesser. So I don't know whether I would go that way. And who will you give the new ball to, for example? You have so many options. I think if you have Bumrah, Ishant, Shami, I think you have 3 really good bowlers to tackle those conditions. Then you have Jadeja and Ashwin as well. I wouldn't go unless the conditions are really in favour of the bowler.
Now, considering that Pant struggled last year with the last time when we went to England with the wicket keeping, there were quite a lot of buys. He's definitely improved from now on. He's an improved batsman, he's an improved keeper now. And Saha, we all know that he's been tested positive and has been selected subject to fitness. And we can't expect KL Rahul to keep as a backup as well because he is just a backup batsman. So, considering these situations, do you think there should have been an extra wicketkeeper that could have been selected?
I think that's the condition, right? In case Saha cannot go, I think they'll replace Saha with a KS Bharat or some wicketkeeper for sure. So that's why they haven't selected now, and there's still a long time to go for the team to travel, etc. So I think Saha will be fit. So that's why they have taken. It's not a injury as such, right? He's just not recovered from COVID. So I think this is fair, in my opinion.
Southampton had 2 drawn games last year against the Pakistan guys. 2 matches played at Southampton, both good first innings, and then they played out a draw. Will the English curators be, tempted to give us back our own medicine, what they got back in India? Probably give green pitches.
Not really. I think green pitches is going to actually help India more. India have a team which kind of can play across any condition. So I think that might be a risk which curators are taking. India's fast bowling strength could be as good or if not better than England's, right? Because you have what Bumrah, Siraj, Shami, Ishant versus Anderson, Broad, Archer, and maybe Sam Curran or Ollie Stone or whoever Wokes. It's a very tight bowling attack. So it's not that if they give green conditions, I think it will work against them. I think they have to give a pretty conditions which are very similar to last year. Last time they toured in 2018, I think that augurs better for England.
Okay, let's quickly have a look at the New Zealand squad as well. As you mentioned, New Zealand are pretty strong and do start favourites. But looking at the bowling trio of Wagner, Boult and Southee, how do any team get past these 3?
When you look at man-to-man, I think both teams are very evenly matched. India, I would say, is slightly better in terms of batting. And New Zealand, maybe... See, New Zealand spinners, for example, are not even close to India's spinners. So New Zealand are very dependent on those 3 bowlers. For that, conditions have to be pretty favourable. I don't know how well Wagner and Jamieson would do in England, which is why those first 2 matches against England become very, very important. If they start, they bowl well, they strike form there, and they understand how to bowl with the Duke's ball and all that, then it becomes good. And mind you, New Zealand are going to England after a very long time. They're going after 6 years, if I remember right. 2015 is when they went last. Those 2 matches are going to be super advantageous for New Zealand. If it was just a one-match shootout, I would have given India to be favourite. But because of New Zealand's ability to get used to the conditions, understand what lengths to bowl where, and how to use the Duke ball, etc., they have 2 matches to test that out. I think New Zealand have a slight advantage there. This is like a third test of a 3-match series, right? You see batsmen tend to improve by the third test. So that's going to be key. In terms of bowling, it's not like their bowling is... I think both the teams' bowling attack are as good as... I think they're possibly the best in the business now. Like we have seen, right? Australia, New Zealand, India's bowling attack are really good. And India managed to counter Australia in Australia itself. So give New Zealand such a big edge. That's what I'm coming to.
Game time is always very important when compared to net practice. So I think what you mentioned is right, that they do get 2 game times compared to what India is going to get ahead of the World Test Championship. But if you look at the entire team, more or less it's at balance as well. But there's one man which India would obviously like to target. That will be Kane Williamson.
Yeah, but again, he's not played a lot in England. He played in 2015. I think he had 1 century and he's not played really well otherwise. Yeah, he is very important, but in test matches, we've seen Ross Taylor do well at times and give him a lot of support. He's been very good. BJ Watling has been good. Henry Nicholls has been good. So somehow when I look at both the batting units, I still feel India is a much more stronger batting unit than New Zealand. It's going to be about which team maybe bats slightly better. Because both the bowlers will, I think, cancel out each other. And the pitches are going to be done by ICC, so they'll come up with a very sporting pitch.
Recently, right, one of the coaches had mentioned that the New Zealand attack is at par with the West Indies attack of the 80s. Yeah. So many would disagree with that. I think I'm one of those who disagree with that. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, even I don't agree. It's just the variety is there. And I would say even the Aussie variety is as good as the New Zealand variety. Maybe because the kind of bowlers New Zealand have is what makes them compare that. Because you have 2 really swing bowlers. You have Jamieson with his height and you have Wagner with his short ball and left arm angle. So in terms of variety, yes, New Zealand are good. But yeah, I think that's just a statement made to scare various opposition. So Even I don't agree with that as of now.
What would you think would be the New Zealand 11 going into this World Test Championship? We spoke about the Indian 11 already. So what do you think about the New Zealand 11?
So when you look at the team, I think definite starters are Tom Latham, Kane Williamson, Ross Taylor, Southey, Bold, Jamieson, Wagner, Pope, and BJ Watling. I think we've got 5 plus 2, 7 plus 1, 8 slots full. I think Henry Nichols will also start. So I think 9 slots are for sure. If there's no injury, these 9 would play. And now the 10th and 11th slot, we need to see who's in form, which players likely to play. We saw Blundell do well in Australia. He scored a century there. It's been a long time since that. Blundell and Latham have done well for New Zealand, so they could start. And you also have Devon Conway who's coming, but we haven't seen much of him in the test level. So we need to wait and see. They tried Will Young, I think, against Bangladesh, if I remember right, or Pakistan.
He batted at 3. Yeah, he batted at 3 against Bangladesh. And Williamson was
right? Correct. So Will Young started against Bangladesh. So they've all not played much in England at the top level. So we have to wait and see. So I think those two, I would think they would start with Blundell and Latham and then continue from there onwards, and they'll decide that 5th spot either to play Santner or whether to play a seam bowling all-rounder. I don't think Colin de Grandhomme is available. We have to wait and see. If de Grandhomme is not available, then maybe you have
Daryl Mitchell. Yeah, they have Daryl Mitchell.
And you have well there. So we'll have to, those are 2 spots which we'll have to wait and see based on condition. But I think above all, you have 9 players there. The problem is if at all either Bold, Southey, Wagner or Jamieson, one of them get injured, right? It becomes a slightly tricky one. Who's their backup? They have mainly Matt Henry. We have to see how. Yes, India will remember Matt Henry differently after the World Cup semi-final, but we don't know how he will do at the test level.
Fingers crossed that Virat Kohli can finally get his hands on to one ICC trophy, and that will be a special one, a World Test Championship. This has been really brilliant talking to you, Gaurav. World Test Championship. It's been really nice talking to you and getting your views out here. And before we sign out, a very important message for everybody in the world and especially the people in India. So these are COVID times. Please take this seriously. Maintain social distancing. Wear your mask. Do not venture out unnecessarily. Take your vaccines on time and maintain social distancing. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you, Vishak. It was nice talking to you.
Thanks so much, Gaurav, for your time. It was great talking to you. Great insights, and stay safe.
Thank you, guys.